This lecture is on a section of ecology in which organisms interact with other organisms. So far we've talked about how organisms interact with non-living components of the environment. Now we're going to talk about how they interact with each other. There are 5 types of ways organisms can interact with each other. They include competition, predation, parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. On your graphical organizer notes on page 1, we are on the left-hand side. If you're looking at your graphical organizer notes, we are on page 1 in the middle. Competition is the relationship in which 2 species struggles to obtain the same limited resource. Can you think of any limited resource that species might compete for? Organisms may compete for food. They may compete for shelter. They may compete for habitat or territory. Moving over to the left-hand side on your notes, predation is the relationship in which one organism captures, kills, and consumes another. There are 2 roles in predation. We can have the predator. This is the organism that will do the capturing and the killing and the consuming. And the prey. This is the organism that gets captured, killed, and gets consumed. One type of predator is a carnivore. This is an organism that will eat flesh. The example here is the fox eating the rodent. Another example of a predator are herbivores. Herbivores will prey on the plants. Omnivores are also considered a predator because they do eat other organisms. They eat plants and animals. A third type of interaction is called symbiotic relationships. These are relationships in which 2 different species that live close to each other are going to have some kind of relationship. These relationships are called symbiotic relationships. This is outlined on page 1 of your notes on the right-hand side. In more detail, flip your packet to page 2 to the chart. The first type of symbiotic relationship we're going to talk about is called mutualism. Mutualism is a relationship in which both species will benefit. On your chart, we can represent that by 2 plus signs, 2 positive, beneficial relationships. One example is the sea anemone has stinging tentacles, and it protects the clownfish from predators. So the clownfish gets protection, which is a positive thing. And the fish chase away organisms that try to eat the anemone. So that's a good thing for the anemone. So both species are being benefited by this relationship. Therefore, it's a mutualistic relationship. Another example of a mutualistic relationship is lichen. Lichen is a combination of fungi and algae put together. Together they can live in extreme environments where no other life on Earth could exist. These environments could include hot springs, in which temperatures are extremely hot, extremely cold temperatures, extremely dry and hot temperatures, or up in high altitudes. In these extreme environments, sometimes lichen is the only organism we can find. So how is this a mutualistic relationship? Well, the fungi's root system serves to capture water and nutrients needed for photosynthesis. The algae are inside of the fungi root system and photosynthesize to produce the sugar for both itself and the fungus. The second type of symbiotic relationship is called commensalism. This is a relationship in which one species benefits and the other is not affected. This means that they're not being helped, but they're also not being harmed. One example is the cattle egret, which is the bird that sits on top of the buffalo. The bird is going to eat small animals that are chased out of hiding in the grasslands as the buffalo walk around the grasslands. The buffalo is not getting helped by this, but is not getting harmed by a little bird sitting on its back. The last type of symbiotic relationship is called parasitism. This is a relationship in which one organism feeds on another, but does not cause instant death. In this relationship, you have a parasite. This is the organism that feeds on the other for an extended period of time. The other is the host. This is the organism that is the food for the parasite. The parasite is getting benefited because it's getting food, it's getting nourishment, so we're going to give that a plus sign. The host, however, is getting harmed because it's getting deprived of nutrients. An example of a parasite is a tapeworm. A tapeworm will attach itself within the host's intestines. Since it's inside the host, is called endoparasites. Endo means inside. The parasite will slowly use the nutrients that is eaten by the host. The host will suffer from illness and possibly death due to intestinal blockage or from not getting enough nutrients. This is usually a slow death. An interesting side story, there was somebody who put tapeworms inside a pill and sold it as a weight loss pill, and then when the person lost as much weight as they wanted to, they would take a second pill which was supposed to kill the tapeworm. However, sometimes that second pill did not always kill the tapeworm, and then they ended up having serious illness, and some people died from that. A few other examples of parasites: lamprey, which are fish-like organisms that attach themselves onto the outside of a fish. They will slowly suck the blood that they need from the fish. And ticks are another example. They're going to be attached on the outside of typically mammals, and again suck nutrients from the bloodstream. Since both of these are outside of the body, they're called ectoparasites.